Welcome to Forex Films. Today is Thursday, May the 26th, 2011. It is right after the close of U.S. trade today, and there's quite a few currency pairs I want to take a look at, a lot that interests me. So we've been holding long here on the euro for a little while now, and it was really starting to pick up back here. We had sharp moves to the upside and then a surge last night, which really I was hoping was putting us in a third wave, but after the big move down from the US GDP figure, it really looks to me like at best this is a 1-2-1-2 pattern. I'm still looking higher. Still really I had been saying 143.30, but I really think it will go just a little bit past this previous high, so that's probably more like 143.50. And we got a very nice bounce off this low here. It was starting to worry me, but it played out the way I wanted it to. And if you look at it on the 4-hour chart, which I've just switched it to, it definitely looks more bullish. So I continue to look higher. I think we'll have more continuation to the upside tomorrow and probably through next week. And we'll move on to dollar yen. We've been watching this for so long, and if you remember, I shorted here and then I got out back here, and then it just kind of meandered since then. Well, finally, I was talking about this morning on forexfilms.com actually. We started to have more momentum to the downside, and it was looking more bearish. And we did just slammed right through this lower trend line, closed very cleanly below, and we're consolidating now. This could just be consolidation before the next surge downward, or we could come back and test this trend line. If I have enough open margin, I'll probably place a small position on this if it retests this trend line and bounces back off of there. So this is looking like a very good longer term trade. It's most likely that we'll exceed this low to a new all-time low, at least in my opinion. Even if this bounces back, though, out of this pattern, it would be very surprising to me if it did do that. But if it did bounce back and come to a new high, it still looks corrective. So I'm definitely looking lower in this pair. And the pound dollar. This happens a lot in pound dollar reversal moves. The first and second waves are somewhat confusing to trade. As you can see, we have a very clear 5-wave movement down, very clear 3-wave movement up, and then we've got kind of difficult to count, possibly 5-wave movement, possibly 3-wave, and then a very quick surge upward after that. This is really the signature of the pound dollar. If you've been trading it a long time at all, you should really recognize that this happens, though you may still get tricked by it. Really what I think happens here is we have the first wave down, then a very large B wave, and then a C wave. And then a lot of times the C wave still goes past the terminus of wave A, so we're looking like 65.50. I'm not in this pair right now, but this is something I see time and again whenever we have a reversal in the pound dollar. So, just look for a good spot to short that, most likely. Here is the dollar Swiss. If you remember back, I was very excited about this pair because the candle pattern on the daily chart really looked to show that we were going to have a very sharp surge downward, and I waited. Actually, I was short from up here, but it was a small position, and then I greatly increased my position when this candle closed like it did. And we got 2 days where this pair just surged downward. We had slight consolidation in between sessions, then another surge downward today. So I think this can continue downward even more, especially looking at where the euro is at and where the Aussie is at, which we'll look at in a second. We may get a new all-time low here, so I'm still holding short here with, of course, move my stop up to protect some of my profits, but continue to look lower, even though this looked pretty convincing, like a 5-wave impulse pattern to the upside. And we're certainly slowing down here, but we consolidated here, dropped a slight amount, consolidated here. So I still think we've got room to move. Actually, take us back. This looked like a 5-wave possible reversal here, and of course the way it played out, especially when this 4th wave, what a lot of people thought was a 4th wave, including me at the time, broke down into the 1st wave, I started questioning this move. Looks more like a B wave to me, especially with this 5th wave surge, which was most likely actually a C wave. And even further back here, this actually looked pretty convincingly like a 5-wave movement, but it turned out that was also just a corrective pattern. And we have the Canadian dollar. And the Canadian dollar has remained very weak, and while other currency pairs, even the euro, has moved up against the US dollar, we continue to hold by the 98 key level. I actually draw some lines on here. And we basically had 3 touches of that. And this is a converging pattern, which is kind of similar, though not as sure as the pattern in the Aussie dollar, but you can see we've got converging movement here. Basically have a triple top and then smaller triple top, head and shoulders in here with a neckline that's coming down, and it's hard to say here, but I think the Canadian dollar is definitely going to have to rise against the US dollar. Maybe with the US data coming tomorrow. We've actually got US pending home sales at 10 o'clock tomorrow, and even before that we got US personal income and personal spending at 0830. So keep your eyes on that. I have been reluctant to get in this because I haven't really figured out where it was going. Now it looks pretty clear that it's going to the downside, and just looking for when the momentum will pick up here before I really decide I want to put money on this. And finally, Australian dollar. I actually moved my trend line down to capture this spike low too, just because it's still a very nice converging pattern here, and no matter what, we still broke through to the top side here. Just like with the dollar yen, we clearly broke out to the downside. So we could either just keep continuing upward or come test this trend line again. I think we will test this, and I would very much like to be long this upon a successful test of that trend line. So several good pairs to trade here. Several very important areas to watch. German CPI comes out tomorrow, and Eurozone economic confidence will be released at 0500. These times are all Eastern Daylight Time. Thanks for watching. Have good trading, and please come visit me at forexfilms.com.